Hi there, welcome back to a Dylan Rounds related case situation, more specifically an update on Bibbins' arrest. Seems as if he's been released in recent time. But I just want to present to you the latest updates provided by a Montello local known as Weezer in this situation. Because Weezer knows Bibbins and she has been around him in the past, right? And recently she's been checking up to see what's the deal with Bibbins' arrest. She was able to get the details about why he got arrested in the first place and what Weezer did following the arrest afterwards, the actions she took upon herself. All that will be revealed right here, right now. It might help put things into perspective for you. Welcome if you are currently here in this live premiere, though. I do appreciate it. Be sure to share your thoughts and opinions and reactions in the live chat box, and feel free to elaborate down below in the comment section. Down below in the comment section will be a pinned comment by me if you wish to check that out. If you want to check if you want to support the channel in a different way or in an anonymous way, it's there, it's available if you wish to. Also, I just want to highlight, shout out to Iceberg, 58 last night for their super chat. Very good of them, much appreciated. And of course, big shout out to Cleo too for her recent super chats, very good of her. And as well, shout out to the odd other person if they have done as well in the background. I said I can't remember everything, but shout out to the ones that have shown support on this channel. It's good. Now, to catch up on previous videos, whether it be Kenny Veach or Dylan Rounds, I did a Dylan Rounds video last night. I'll see if it's worth looking at the comments, if there's many, or there's some key points to be made. I'll read them out and I will acknowledge them, okay? I'll get round to that. But if you want to catch up on the videos yourself, besides the comments, I symbol, top right corner of the screen, if you click on that, you'll be redirected and then you'll be able to find the videos and even the playlist to the case. And then you can go from there, okay? But today, we're mainly focusing on the latest updates with Kevin Bibbins, which has been somewhat tied to the Dylan Rounds case due to his proximity, him knowing Brenner, him knowing Dylan. And recently we've kind of looked back on that situation to see, is he still a person of interest, yes or no? Some people have agreed, others haven't, that's fine. But let's just look at these updates because everything needs to be, well, not everything, as much needs to be documented as possible as we go along the way. It makes it easier for people to know where we're at, right? So I'll present to you that first, and then if there's time, then we can look at the comments to the previous video. So here we are with the first update. Now, it does say posted 1 hour ago, but it's like days now since it was posted, okay? I just wanted to present the updates to you in order, right? Then we move to the latest in the next slide. If you wonder what's at the bottom right corner of the screen, that's my big head. I couldn't get out a shot. It filled up most of the camera at the time because I had to try and get a hold of this screenshot through one of my previous videos. Now, some of you might have seen this, but the majority haven't. I did a short video giving an update, but I guess it didn't receive the true reach. So I thought if I do it here, the other people will be on catch up and see it for themselves, okay? So this is a previous relevant update to Bibbins, okay? So, Weezer says, sorry, I've been missing a lot. I have meetings at work every afternoon. That's understandable. I do believe Weezer showed up last night though, so that was good to see. Weezer says, Kevin Bibbins is still in jail. Well, was still in jail at the time. She says, I called last week and he doesn't have a court date scheduled yet. The bail is still $50,000 and they told me he probably was going to be there for a while. Interesting. How serious was it really for him to be there for that long? Or supposedly it was scheduled like that. Weezer says, I ended up rescuing his dog from the doggy jail. Okay, is that like a dog kennel or something? As they were going to put her to sleep last Wednesday. So that's good of Weezer to rescue Bibbins' dog from being put down. She says, I'm currently trying to find someone to adopt her. She is a great dog, but doesn't get along with mine. I'll try to catch the show today. Okay, So it was good of Weezer to provide the update there. But as for last night's update, Weezer said, you see there, it's a bit of a dodgy screenshot, but I did it on the spot, saying, Raf, Kevin Bibbins was released on Tuesday just gone. So quite recent. So I don't know what people's reactions are there. Is that a positive? Is it a negative? Let me know your thoughts down below. So in terms of the comments on last night's video, there's only about 5 comments, so we don't really need to go through them because most of them are of emojis or something. I can address one response to the guy called Larry. Shout out to Larry. I don't know if he was around during the Kenny Reach days or not. I think I might have seen a Larry though. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Larry's comment was highlighting ignore the resistance or ignore the negative people. It will only pull you down and drain you. Yes, I understand that, and it's good of Larry to show some concern. Appreciate that. In terms of the resistance, at times it does need to be responded to, you know, to close it down before it does erupt, but also to preserve oneself or preserve a case so it doesn't get too harmed. Other times it can be left alone, and that's what has been done with time, right? Maybe more of that can be applied in the future. We'll just see how things go, right? Because if in the future it feels like one is too far away from the resistance and it's actually having more negative effects than positives, then maybe I will have to pull myself a little bit closer to narrow the gap between the split of dark and light, okay? Just monitor to see how it goes. I'd say it's all right at this moment in time. Few knobs along the way, but that's normal, okay? The main part with the chat, that's been mainly positive. The only thing short term that was a little bit disappointing to see was last night. Not the poll results on my video, that was positive. Most if not all of the viewers last night in my live premiere voted that they want a fun video next, which is good to see. But the others, in terms of a first time poll at that moment, within the first few hours of when the poll went live on my channel, overwhelming majority didn't want a fun video. Oh, don't want fun videos, we don't want anything fun, not on Christmas. Sound a little bit miserable, right? Sound a bit flat, bit deflated. You know, where's the fun? You don't want it? Disappointing to see. At that time, at that moment, with those people that voted, it changed. It transformed the next day. It was good to see. There's been times in the past where I've done some polls in the past I don't know what the polls were exactly about. It was like maybe ideas, suggestions, and not often at all, but sometimes the results might have been surprisingly negative, and it's like, oh, that's disappointing to see. But I don't always acknowledge or highlight it, but I do in here. But, you know, main focus is there will be a video, and of course the regular people that do watch, like who are watching right now, will be able to enjoy it, okay? And I'm going to try and focus on maybe something to do with the maps. I know Christy likes the maps, but the alternative version of certain locations. I do remember that at one point when I did it often, my normal voice started turning into a default American accent, which was a bit weird. But trying to do a range of stuff there, check a range of different locations as well. I can also point as a heads up when it does come to the pre-recorded video for Christmas Day set normal time later on in the night. I won't be there because I will be busy with things going on in the background, but that video can still be there for people that want to hang out with one another, or maybe use it as a distraction, or just to watch something dodgy, random, or funny. It will be available to watch. And, you know, at the end of the day, when referring back to the poll results, when at first majority didn't want to see a fun video, what's that? Why? 1, miserable bastards, or 2, they're just simply busy themselves on that day. Well, it shouldn't really be much of a problem, because it's not like that video is going to disappear or become locked behind a paywall. You know, whether you're there on Christmas Day to watch it as a live premiere or not, the video will remain there forever. So you can always catch up on it the next day. I mean, that's what the majority of viewers do on this channel, right? It's like if I do a Kenny Veach video as a live premiere, 20 to 39, 38 people will watch live, and then the remainder 400 to 500 people watch a few days later. Just one of those things. Partially time zone difference and also responsibilities and maybe work and other stuff going on in the background for some, so people just watch when they can. So there shouldn't be much of a roadblock as to why a video can't be posted or not. So might be other reasons and motives, but sometimes one thing I have tested, certain polls with certain names and certain options to vote on, that's one way to know who's watching in the background for sure, or the certain types. Now, it's all anonymous, but it spreads that awareness of, oh, I see, someone back there. It's like with, it can be a heads up, maybe I can do it as a separate video. If you're doing a live stream or a live premiere and you feel like you're in a gated community, right? You're all on side with one another, do a poll once in a while on a certain subject and see how many people are on your side, okay? Now that, luckily, isn't a problem. Here, it's under control, it's natural, but it can work, okay? So just take that into mind. I mean, that's why some people out there on other channels will gift people memberships elsewhere, because they're doing it to see who is secretly watching in the background, because gifted memberships can be given out to viewers who are currently watching, and if not that, recent viewers that last watched your channel. And it could be people that don't like you yet were watching you. So people that supposedly are anonymously watching, well, if memberships are gifted out, they could be revealed and highlighted. So that's another way, that's why some out there do it. But as I said here, it's relatively natural and fine. But no harm in giving out these pointers, research tips along the way, because it could help you in the future. Now, just to briefly refer back to, you know, the Bibbins situation, because as I said, we can't really respond back to any more comments because there wasn't really any more to do. Oh, actually, as a heads up, later on, so yes, this video live premiere right now, but later on, 1 in the morning, 1 a.m. maybe, or 00, no, maybe 12:30, 12:40 p.m. UK time, and if not then, 1 a.m. in the morning UK time, somewhere around that point, there'll be another video coming out. Completely different, still deep, still interesting and maybe helpful for some. It's a response video to Cleo, so be on the lookout for that Cleo, but also it could help other people indirectly in the background too. So that'll be coming as well. So it's, a bit busy, but it's fine. Let's just refer back now to Bibbins, because I've said everything else that needed to be acknowledged. So some people could be like, oh no, Bibbins is being released this soon, despite being in possession of a firearm. You know, what happens to that? What happens to the firearm? Confiscated? Probably. I mean, it happened with Brenner in the past. So I guess the same happens to Bibbins, right? Or does he get given the firearm back? If anyone can fill that bit in, feel free to do so down below. Some people, as said, could be like, well, if he's been released, isn't he a harm? A threat to the general public? Could he hurt someone again and cause more trouble? I guess you got to acknowledge the gap in space and time of when he last did something bad and what he's done since. Maybe he hasn't done as much since, but there's still that possibility in the future. That's just a suggestion. That's just being cautious, maybe overcautious, but there's no harm, right? Some people will be saying, good, it's good Bibbins is out, his age he is, and he's vulnerable, he should be able to walk free, he's a good person, he's not done anything bad since, he's changed his ways, that's it, done. Okay. Just wanted to provide to you this update in general so you know where things are at, and you can also acknowledge that Weezer took it upon herself to do a bit of research to see what the situation was with Bibbins before and after, which is good of her. and also Weezer being the one to rescue Bibbins' dog, which is a good thing too. I guess Bibbins' dog will be returned back to Bibbins. I don't think that'll be confiscated, will it? So that should be okay in the end. So it seems like, could argue a positive outcome, maybe. But what about Dylan Rounds? What happens there? Well, there's still that uncertainty. There is still 1 to 2 new pieces of DNA evidence which have not been identified or publicly revealed or explained further as to who it belongs to. You know, waiting game. Probably will come after the preliminary hearing, maybe. So there's quite some time away. There's still every chance that in between now and then something else could be found. Chances reduce significantly due to weather, but still, there could be an unexpected moment. I mean, unrelated, but look at Lance Kelly. Unexpected, gone quiet. What's happened there? Has something bad happened or just busy? Anyone know? Ty Corbin, kind of gone quiet, here and there, complained still, but no change there. So things can die down, and other times it can really heat up, just like how it has with drama and conflict in the background. Unexpected stuff happens around the corner, and with Dylan Rounds, it doesn't fall short there. There's a range of stuff. Okay, so we'll see what happens in the future. There might be the odd news coverage or reflection back on Dylan's life towards the end of this year, as you would think, maybe by the family, Facebook, maybe East Idaho News. I think that at some point what should come and should follow, maybe before the end of the year, would be East Idaho News interview with Canis Cooley, Justin Rounds, Nate Eaton, discussing the latest situation with the preliminary hearing, what's previously gone on, and what's set for the future. And to talk about that, maybe talk about a little bit about what's been found in the background, about the private searches, any additional stuff there, any items found. Sometimes what can follow, or to follow as a guideline, not that it's 100% guaranteed, but it can happen at times. You can get a news article or news coverage followed then by a proper interview. Formal, semi-formal, it's happened with East Idaho News. So there's a chance that that could happen. So be on the lookout for it. It'd be good if one does come, and I think it's necessary, to tie up and round off everything that happened in 2023, right? With the Dylan Rounds case, the private searches, and the preliminary hearing and the previous hearings of Brenner, summarising it all. Yes, it's been mentioned on Facebook, news articles, but what about East Idaho News? That bit has been quiet since, so maybe it's time to do something there. So, it was a worthy video this, and key updates. Hopefully you enjoyed the video or found it somewhat interesting. Thanks for watching. If you are prepared, be on the lookout for my video later on, and the ones that will come in a few days' time. For now, goodbye, good night.